Good afternoon, everyone. Ryan O'Hara here with Ryan O'Hara on Sports, and today I'm here to talk to you about Dimitri Bivol and Turki Al-Sheikh. Let's start really quickly addressing the comments that Turkey made on Bivol. People are misunderstanding what Turkey is saying, okay? If you're a hardcore boxing fan, if you are deep into the business, you're deep into everything that goes on, you understand every word that Turkey is saying. Now, people who aren't as well educated on the topic are going to think that Turkey is threatening Bivol or that Turkey is a control freak. He is, but have you ever seen a billionaire who isn't a control freak? Seriously? But as we've seen, Turkey is not only does he want control, but he's also a huge boxing fan and wants to put on big fights, which he has done. He has a track record of doing so. Now, let's talk about Mauricio Sulaiman's history, the head of the WBC. We see people coming out saying, "Oh, I'm a proud WBC champion." All over. We're seeing all this defense of the WBC. That's funny because just a couple years ago, everyone was complaining about the incessant sanctioning fees, how we're not getting the fights that we want. Mauricio Sulaiman doesn't seem to be listening to the fans. I'm here to tell you, he's still not listening to the fans. Do I need to remind you guys that Dimitri Bivol and Artur Beterbiev were supposed to fight sooner than last year? Mauricio Sulaiman, remember, blocked the fight. The Russia-Ukraine scandal was going on, and Mauricio Sulaiman decided, well, I'm going to make a political stance and challenge Vladimir Putin. I'm going to say, we're not going to put our belt on the line because Bivol is Russian. Completely ignoring the fact that his own champion was also Russian, but made some bullshit excuse that, Beterbiev is not Russian anymore because he lives in Montreal, but he still talks like this. Really? Are you serious? Does Vladimir Putin even know who Dimitri Bivol is? And the thing is, the WBC has been pulling this nonsense, and even the WBA as well, for quite some time. Remember, if you recall, Dimitri Bivol won the WBA interim championship in 2016 in his 7th professional fight. He waited 3 full years, to be elevated to super champion. He never fought for the belt. No one wanted to fight him, and finally, the WBA had no choice but to elevate him to the world champion slot. He gets the Canelo fight, and then he finally gets 2 opportunities to fight for the undisputed light heavyweight championship. If you recall, Dimitri Bivol's career goal was to have all the belts, undisputed, all of the belts. Who gave him that opportunity? It was Turki Al-Sheikh. What did the WBA do? They didn't do him any favors. They made him wait for years and years and years to not fight for the title, just to get it for free. Turki Al-Sheikh is saying, look, Dimitri, I'm the guy that gave you these opportunities. Stick on my side of the street. Don't work with these guys. Is Turkey wrong? The WBC blocked the undisputed championship fight. The WBA made him wait years to finally be recognized as a world champion. The WBA wouldn't play his national anthem at the Canelo fight because he's Russian. Goes, woo, Russia, woo. They did everything in their power to prevent Bivol from becoming who he is. The guy who gave him these opportunities is Turki Al-Sheikh. But what we have here is Turki Derangement syndrome. Ooh, he's a Saudi. Okay. The Saudi guy is the one making the fights. The fans are have been asking for the fights. Well, the guy from Saudi Arabia has been giving us the fights, but now the fans were upset. We don't want the Saudi guy to give us the fights. Okay, then who's going to give us the fights? Mauricio Sulaiman? Is he going to give you the fights? The Sulaiman dynasty, they have been in power for what, 40 years? And they haven't given you what they wanted? So what are you asking for? What do you want? That should be the question that everyone should be asking. What the do you want? Now, with that out of the way, let's talk about another aspect of boxing that fans and others fail to understand. The business. Very important. Boxers today, for the most part, are demanding purses that are so exorbitant in correlation to their commercial value, promoters can't afford to put them in the ring more than, let's say, 3 to 4 times a year or 5 times a year if they actually wanted to. They can't afford to do so. Because in a lot of cases, fighters are demanding full price for fights that fans don't actually want to see. And if fans don't want to watch it, if fans don't want to pay for it, if you put it on pay-per-view, well, you're not going to get a good return on your investment. If any return on your investment. Have you ever met a business person that likes to lose money? Neither have I. I haven't. Dana White doesn't like to lose money. Turki doesn't like to lose money. Al Heyman doesn't like to lose money, although PBC's had a lot of struggles. Lou DiBella doesn't like to lose money. Tom Brown, I would assume, doesn't like to lose money. It's a business. And in order to run a successful business, your income has to outpace your expenses. But if you're paying your fighters, if you're overpaying your fighters and over-marinating fights and pissing off your fan base, that's going to have a direct impact on your sales. And that has been a problem in boxing for a very, very long time. So you have all that going on. You have the sanctioning bodies not giving the fans what they want, making every excuse in the book not to make the fights that people want. And yes, Dana White has his flaws, right? He doesn't pay his fighters great. But this is what makes the TKO Boxing League, for example, a good investment. Where Dana struggles, right? Where Dana has struggled in the UFC. Fighter pay. Turki can compensate. Turki wants to make the big fights. Dana White wants to make the big fights. Turki has the money. Dana's a great talker, right? Dana's fighters are very active. Dana's in control. A lot of boxing promoters are not in control of their fighters. They run rampant. They make crazy demands. It's a mess. Now, as the great Larry Merchant once said, there is no saviors in boxing, but this is going to help. Yes, some fighters are probably going to make less money for fights, but yes, that is necessary in order to have a successful business. Imagine if Julio Cesar Chavez, the great Hall of Fame Julio Cesar Chavez, had a lot of stay busy fights during his career. In his run, I think he was like 87-0 at one point. If he was demanding $20 to $30 million to fight, a 5-4 prospect out of Tijuana, do you think that would have been sustainable in the long run? Absolutely not. But fans don't understand that. Because let's be honest. I'll be honest with you guys. A lot of boxing fans are communists. They want you to give them everything. They request all this stuff, but they want you, the rich guy, to work for free. That's not how shit works. That is not how it works. Remember Oscar De La Hoya's clapback video when he was responding to Juan Manuel Marquez, because Marquez was complaining he didn't have, he had lost a lot of money, and De La Hoya made this amount when he fought this guy, and then Oscar's response was like, "What, was I supposed to work for free?" That is basically, there's a sense of entitlement and straight up stupidity in the boxing world. It's ironic because in a sport that makes all this money, you would think the fan base would at least have some form of education on how this works, but they don't. They go on Twitter, they run their mouths, and that's how they consume information. So once again, a majority of boxing fans are communists. They want you to give them this, but they want the person who's in control, who is giving them the fights, to work for free, because you're already rich. You don't need any more money. Okay, well, have you ever run a business? Has a poor person ever run a successful business? I haven't heard of one, but you can let me know if that's the case. But that's the gist of all of this anger and confusion and yelling and screaming and straight up feminine energy. It's a mess, guys. And I'm tired of seeing all the complaining. It's a simple explanation. Education is so important. Go read, do your research, Think independently. Don't rely on some loudmouth on Twitter to give you information. Go research it for yourself and develop your own thought. And if we still come to a different opinion, I'm not going to dislike you. We can agree to disagree. But just to yell and scream and make absolutely no sense, it drives me nuts. Anyway, guys, that's my 2 cents, or $2, or $2.50 with inflation. Maybe you laughed at that. I don't know. Anyway, guys, I'm Ryan O'Hara for Ryan O'Hara on Sports, and I'll see you again next time on the next episode of Turkey Derangement Syndrome.